of hope and potential was requested by Nizam, who sadly couldn't join the live session today. So hope is such a broad word that is really worth examining under the Buddhist lens. It implies achieve our desire. And because of our egos, from hope, it can be a slippery slope to expectations, attachment, the 8 worldly concerns. So we're here to ask Phuntsok how we can adjust our inner compass, our inner wisdom, so that we can see exactly how hope is functioning in our lives, if we're putting hope into the right things, and how we can use it skillfully and develop unwavering faith in our potential. So Phuntsok, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Liz. Thank you all for showing up, for coming over to my home. And I want to say thank you to all of you who's been supporting this for the many years that it's been going on, even though it used to be a gathering that was done in person, but we became resilient. We continued, even though we couldn't meet in person anymore. And now here we are meeting in virtual, but still we are meeting. So thank you for continuing to support this and showing that for as long as you want this to continue, it will continue. Okay. And thank you for supporting it with either with Patreon and in many other ways that you support. Some people support with service, some people support with many different ways. So thank you very much for that. So today's topic is, all the questions, all the topics that are requested are always very important, always very, always a topic that is very relevant to what's going on. And I think with what's going on in the world right now, I think we need hope. And we need to understand how should we depend on it without deluding ourselves, right? And and also, as we go into the teaching deeper and deeper, there seems to be ways of understanding the teachings where it nurtures hope. And how is it nurturing hope, and in what ways it is, and what kind of hope that it is not nurturing, so we don't end up deceiving ourselves. So we're going to try to cover that tonight. Tonight, we're going to do a meditation that you are very familiar with. And if you're not familiar with it, well, here it is. Okay. All right, let me get my, this thing here so we can know how much time has elapsed. Otherwise, we'll end up meditating for the entire session. All right. So the first thing, bring into conscious awareness that you're going to meditate. Allow your felt sense of what meditation is come to the surface. Do not allow the intellectual mind to come to decide what meditation is supposed to be or what it's not supposed to be. Your body already knows what meditation is supposed to be. Your inner sense already know what meditation is supposed to be. So allow that to come to the surface, and just have the intention, I'm going to enter that state called meditation. And if the intellectual mind, the busy mind can't stop, it wants to put its 2 cents into this. So just hold in the mind, what is meditation? It is accessing and abiding in ever subtle levels of consciousness, which are more and more powerful the more subtle they are. And as you abide and access them, you're able to bring about meaningful transformation. So let the conscious mind deal with that very long definition. So we'll leave you alone, okay? And let the body already knowing what that is. And as you communicate this, hold on to this intention. Let it be communicated to the body and the mind. And feel the response coming from the body. That natural intelligence in the body that understands what meditation is. It will guide you. It will give you guidance as to how the body should be so that you can make the most of this moment, so you can go as deeply as you can into the meditative state. Bring conscious awareness to the general body in general. Then bring attention beginning with the legs, holding the intention, I'm going to meditate, wait and feel the response of the body giving you advice. Arrange the legs this way, make this little adjustment here, make this little adjustment there. Whether you're making adjustments or not, begin to connect with the actual signs that we are entering the meditative state. The sense of calm that is slowly arising, the pleasantness that is slowly arising, the comfort, the stability. And once you feel somewhat satisfied with the legs, with their position, with the posture, then you move attention to the torso, from the hips all the way to the shoulders, allowing that intelligence to guide you. Make adjustments if you have to, consciously, deliberately. Notice the signs arising in the body, it's in the torso, and rejoice. Welcome them. From the shoulders to the arms, all the way to the tip of the fingers. Hold that intention. Respond to the intelligence in the body guiding you. Noticing the calm, noticing the pleasantness, enhancing, rejoice. Then bring attention to the head and neck. Allow them to be centered so there's no conscious need to hold them in place. And feel the calming, the pleasantness arising in the head and neck. At the same time, what we are doing, we are allowing the mind to naturally collect itself by diminishing the area of directing attention. The big legs, the smaller torso, the smaller arms, the smaller area of the head and neck, now to just the mouth, teeth, and tongue. Allowing them to be in their natural places, noticing the signs, enhancing already, rejoice witnessing that. The muscles of the face, the muscles of the forehead. And now the smallest area, the eyes. Allowing them to rest in whatever place the natural intelligence of the body deems to be best for you. It can be closed, it could be slightly open, it could be halfway open, it could be staring straight ahead. Whatever works best for you, whatever helps you go deeper into that calm, deeper into that pleasantness. Now that we have assured ourselves that the body is ready, this could take a second or 3 seconds. It could take 5 minutes, whatever it takes, until you feel confident in the body, readiness to enter deeply into meditation. Now gently bring attention to the breath without pushing away awareness of the body, without pushing away awareness of anything else. Just have the breath, the center of your attention. And there can be other things in the periphery of your attention also. No need to grasp, no need to reject. Staying connected with a sense of calm, staying connected with a sense of pleasantness, now with the breath. and hold determination, uh, a definite conscious determination, like signing the contract. Okay, now I am definitely going into meditation. And with that, take a nice deep breath in through the nose, gently, fully, staying connected with the calm and the pleasantness through the mouth. Breathe out. And as you breathe out, let go, let go, let go in the body, let go energetically, let go in the mind, let go perceptions, let go, let go, let go. That is, let go. No need to grasp onto anything. Just keep that with the attitude of letting go, letting go. And as you let go, notice the calm enhancing, notice the pleasantness enhancing. Rejoice, keep letting go, keep letting go. Notice the signs in the body, rejoice, the calm, the pleasantness, to whatever measure. Notice the signs in the breath, the calm, the pleasantness, to whatever measure, rejoice. Notice the calm, notice the pleasantness in the mind and the inner signs connected to inner sensations, whether it's visions, whether it's tactile sensations, whether it's a scent, whether it's whatever it is that is in the mind. Immediately remind yourself, this is the clarity becoming clearer. This is the natural radiance becoming brighter, and rejoice. Now that the signs are there, rejoice. Now you have the confidence that you are right here, right now, in some degree, in some state, experiencing, abiding in a more subtle level of consciousness. It may not be so obvious, but it is. Rejoice. And make the intention now to deepen with 3 full breaths. Through the nose, gently, fully, as you breathe in, stay connected to any of the signs that is prominent to you. And drop deeper into that sign as you breathe out through the mouth. And let the breath naturally come back. And as it comes back, gently, fully again through the nose, breathe in. Staying connected, staying connected. And through the mouth again, let go. Notice the signs enhancing, rejoice. And for the third time, through the mouth, through the nose, gently, fully breathe in. And through the mouth, let go. And take a moment to accustom yourself to the signs that are now a bit stronger, the calm, the pleasantness in the body, in the breath, in the mind. The inner signs are a bit stronger, a bit more vivid, a bit more present. That's the clarity, that's the radiance. The mind feels a bit more collected, that your attention feel like it can stay where you put it. Rejoice. And gently bring your attention to the space in front of you at the level of your eyebrows. And go into that felt feeling of potential. It doesn't have to be some deep philosophical understanding, but that sense within us that feels that we can do, even though we're not doing it right here, right now, but there's a sense within us that tells us we can. So go to that place of conviction. I can do. That sense of touching potential. Doesn't have to be potential to fly, just any sense of potential. Go towards it as you focus in that space in front of you at the level of your eyebrows. And as you begin to feel a sense in that space, in that forehead, rejoice. As you notice the signs enhancing, rejoice, whether it's in the body, whether it's in the breath, whether it's in the mind. Know that what you're witnessing is deepening, going deeper, accessing more subtle, more powerful levels of consciousness. You're abiding in more powerful, in more subtle levels of consciousness. So that potential that we feel and have a sense, a inner felt sense that we feel connected to, that gives us hope. Stay connected to it. Notice its sense of authoritativeness, that is, it has no doubt about that potential. And feel it as a bright presence. Know it is something you can rely on, so place your reliance on it. Know it is something you can trust, so deliberately place your trust in it. And whatever it is that you are enjoying that is manifesting, know that it's because of this reliance, it is because of this trust that you have placed. So have a sense of gratitude towards it. Like the way we have that attitude of adjusting our sight when we first enter into a dark room, and at first it's pitch black, we can't see anything, but we know if we just stay there, be calm, eventually we'll start to see something. So have that attitude towards this space. There is something that we have a sense of touching, that we have a sense of when we directly encounter it, it will bring meaning to our lives, meaning, whatever it may be for us at that moment. So have that sense of it's already there, it's in that space. All I have to do is just adjust by relaxing. So hold that attitude, and with every breath, have a sense of adjusting even a bit more openly. And let whatever it is that is meaningful to us, that we feel is meaningful, that we feel that it will be revealed to us, let ourselves be open to perceive it. With every breath, relax. staying in that space, that bright presence that is in front of you at the level of your eyebrows. Bring it to the crown of your head. Feel almost as if a million suns were above your head in terms of its brightness, but it's soothing. It's not burning, but it's bright. And the brightness is shining with the brightness of love and compassion and meaning. And gently see that bright presence descend to the crown of your head. See that spark of light, bright as a million suns, eventually arriving in the very center of your heart. And feel a soft, warm, fuzzy feeling now spreading through your heart. And just keep feeling that warm, fuzzy feeling. And imagine breathing is taking place in the very center of your heart. Okay, staying with that warm, fuzzy feeling, get ready to come out of the meditation. Be aware of the space of the meditation, the calm, the measure of pleasantness. And if there are sensations, if there are visions, if there are sounds, notice how clear they are. They don't have to be very clear. Just notice how clear they are. Notice how vivid they are. Notice how present they are, and rejoice. Notice the measure of calm, the measure of pleasantness, rejoice. And whatever you may have gained through this, direct it towards helping you make the most of this session. And get ready to begin to end the meditation. And with the intention to come out of the meditation, take a nice deep breath. And through the mouth, let go. Ah. And with that, gently, deliberately bring your attention to your surroundings through your sense of touch. Be aware of your sitting, be aware of the feel of the air around you, the temperature, and be aware of the different sounds around you, the sounds that are close, the sounds that are far, and be aware of whatever else. And slowly let your eyes open if they're closed, and deliberately be aware of that's color, that's shape, That's shadow, that's light. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. So tonight's topic. Uh, I'll begin by reading the email, right? Not all of it, just some points of it, right? All teachings in Buddhism are directed to bring us to the realization of the true nature of reality. All right, let me stop right there. Okay. Uh, More specifically, all teachings of Buddhism are directed to bring us what we refer to as, let me put it this way instead, to be in right relationship with the true nature of reality. By first working towards having that first moment of direct insight or direct understanding of the true nature of reality. And then moving forward to continuously have right relationship with the true nature of reality. Okay? And I have to begin this way so that we can understand why hope is wonderful sometimes and hope is not really so wonderful. Why the understanding of potential is good sometimes, but we have to understand the other implications of potential at other times. Because if we have to start with, it's for us to be in right relationship with the new true nature of reality. And we have to understand that doesn't mean there is something out there outside of our indirect experience that we're supposed to seek and have right relationship with. Right from the very beginning, the true nature of reality that is being referred to is the true nature of our experience, the true nature of our immediate experience. That's what we need to have right relationship with. Okay, so it's the true nature of reality is not some out there thing. It's not some exotic thing that we are hoping to one day encounter, but rather the very experience that we are having right here, right now. There's something about it. When we have right relationship with it, then we become, then we are no longer surprised by things. And the disease of suffering, we become cured of the disease of suffering. We become cured of the disease of accumulating the causes for suffering. Okay. Oh, Emmett has multiplied himself. Okay. All right. So let's begin with this way. And it continues, which is that all phenomena, what does that mean, the true nature of reality? That all phenomena is completely open to potential. That the world is not fixed nor unchangeable, but flexible, open, and vast. And that is a beautiful promise to make. And what we have to keep remembering is what we are experiencing is coming out of that potential. Okay, what we are experiencing is coming out of that potential. And when we hear, especially when we have some very difficult things that we are going through, and we hear there is potential, then immediately it brings forth a sense of hope. That when we hear that it is what we are experiencing is changeable, what we are experiencing is flexible, what we are experiencing is open, then it gives us hope that we can, especially if it's a difficult situation, we can come through it, we can come out of it, right? But what got us to the condition where we are in need to change the situation that we are in the first place. What got us there? Don't forget, it is still present. It is that which got us to the situation where we are right here, with that we find unbearable, that we find unpleasant. That momentum, that habit is still with us. It is still guiding us. And as soon as we understand, there is possibility of potential, there's possibility with that this very experience is changeable. This very experience is flexible. It can bend, it can transform. That habit comes to play. It's almost as if it got us into trouble in the first place, and it disguises itself as the one who can get us out of trouble. Say, oh, yes, of course. Yeah, glad you found out. So see, there's no reason to be depressed. Everything is changeable. Everything is changed. This situation is changeable. This situation is flexible. Yes, let's change it. Yeah, let's do that. But it got us in trouble in the first place. Now it's disguising itself as the thing that can get us out of trouble. Its nature, okay, it's not ultimate nature, but rather its manifest form is to get us into trouble. That's the habit of it. The habit of it is to get us into trouble. When you have, like, for example, the reason that makes me feel the need to eat cookies at night, right? If that voice comes to me, every night it tells me, no, that's it. Tonight is the last night. Okay, don't worry. You're not going to be doing this anymore. But tonight you need it. Okay. Look at the day. Look at the awful day that you had, and this is the only thing that can help you. Okay, it's not going to ultimately help you, but it will give you some relief. Okay. And then I listen to it and I eat the cookie. And I thought it was going to be just one cookie, and I end up eating the entire bag. Okay. And each time I eat the cookie, it tells me, yeah, just one more. What's one more? Come on, you can do it. What's that going to do? It's not going to kill you, right? And then, of course, I wake up the next day feeling awful and all those things that I was doing. Why? Because I listened to the thing that got me into the situation where I felt the need to have the cookie is the thing that tried to get me out of it, right? So we shouldn't be listening to those kinds of things. So when the habit comes up, oh, hope, yes, we can change this. And what do we do? You could say our misunderstanding takes on the prospect of hope, and it begins to direct us. Like, for example, it makes us hope for things that are not part of potential. Okay? It makes us hope for things that are not part of potential. That is the potential of the situation. Okay? Yes, the situation has potential, but the situation has a certain potential. Or you could say we ourselves have conditioned ourselves to have access at this moment in time to a certain degree of potential. Okay, just because the verse says vast, flexible, open, it doesn't mean that at this very moment, a situation that what can I say? It's like you're lost in the desert. Usually that's the example that they give. You're lost in the desert. If you have hope, the hope will sustain you until eventually you cross the desert, right? So it becomes like a nourishment, energy, a reserve of energy that can actually help you get to cross the desert. But the wrong hope will tell you sit there. Eventually, help will come. That is not what the potential, the openness of the situation is promising. It's not, the hope is not saying stay there. Eventually, you will I don't know, water will suddenly come out of the sand. That kind of hope is not based on what is the nature of the situation. The hope says, I'll give you energy if you get yourself out of this situation, and then you can come out of this situation. You can eventually get to water. Water exists. And the condition of being in the desert is not something that you are stuck with forever. You can change that situation where you're no longer in the desert. But hoping for the desert, which is what makes the condition what makes the condition right to be called desert, is that it lacks water. So you cannot ask the condition by its nature, all the things coming together, lacking water, making a desert, to say change, become yourself water. Then it's no longer desert, right? It has other potentials, maybe, other potentials in terms of lacking water, yes. And we are conditioned in such a way where, as far as our experience of desert is concerned, it has a certain, there's a range of potential for us because of our conditioning. Maybe if you're a yogi who completely transcend things, you can make the sand into water, right? But that's not your reality at the moment. Your reality is this is desert, and desert is the thing that lacks water. So the potential here is I can come out of it and eventually encounter water. So hoping at that level is hoping for water as you cross the desert is skillful hoping. But hoping to sit and for eventually for the desert to become water is not being realistic. It's not really being in right relationship with the reality that we are at that moment experiencing. Okay. And yes, all these things are conditional. All these things are changeable, but at what level, to what degree are we relating? Or to what degree are we cooperating with the potential that is in front of us? And by simply being with what is in front of us, we will eventually come to know the different degrees of the range of potential that is in front of us. Okay. So yes, when things are difficult, and somehow you're able to tap into, I'm not stuck to this situation. This can change, and hope comes in. This hope is a savior. But be careful when what is actually disguising itself as hope is basically attachment. I am attached to the desert. I want the desert to become water. I want the desert to do for me what the water is supposed to be doing. And water better do it for me. It's like a little child who doesn't understand the nature of things. It is insisting on something to be something that it is not. Okay. And it's not going to change for that child, no matter how much of a tantrum the child exhibits. Okay. So when we are placing hope on something, that thing itself doesn't have the potential, the range of potential to fulfill that hope, we are being like a little child. Yes, we are not completely to the range of potential. Maybe this might not. Maybe there is a well somewhere in the desert, but the thing is, you're not sitting on the well. The thing is, the well is not right in front of you right now that you know of. Okay, there is nothing, no signs that you can see that tells you potential water. Okay, there might be a well in the desert that you don't know about, but what are the signs that you're reading that tells you potential water go in that direction? Are you really seeing, are you really experiencing that? Are you open to experiencing that? Are you open to perceiving that? We don't want to remember, this is reality. And by reality, I'm talking about our experience as it is taking place. The ups and downs, the wonderful experiences, the awful experiences, the moments of depression, the moments of having wonderful times. All these are our reality. And what potential is referring to is potential that is within those things. And also, underneath these things, there is a potential that made it happen. There is a potential that made these experiences possible, that made these experiences actual experiences. And we can touch that potential to other, you could say, to other degrees, or to other modes, to other expressions that are possible with these potential. But we have to be realistic. Okay. No, it's like you all know the story of there was a flood, and the guy was hoping that he would be rescued, and but he had a specific idea of what that hope was supposed to be, right? And when the first rescue came, he said, "Oh no, the big guy, and the big guy got me." Okay. And then the second mode came in. Was it the first one was somebody in the Jeep, and then the flood water was so high, now it's only a boat, and a boat came in, and then an helicopter came in, and he kept saying, "Oh, the big guy got me," and eventually he drowned, right? And then of course he's complaining. You can say he's complaining to the big guy, or you can say it's us complaining. I heard that in Buddhism there's potential in everything. How come I wasn't instantly rescued? And of course the big guy said, "I sent you a Jeep, I sent you a boat, I sent you an helicopter, and eventually I gave up on you because you weren't seeing the signs." Okay. Yes, we have to hope. And one of the things that we have to hope for, hope tells us that we have to take a kind of action. There's the Jeep, walk towards it, get inside it, then you'll be rescued. Don't just sit there and somehow magically things will be better. We have to take a kind of action. So this is where the faith comes in. The faith in that actions will definitely bring about a result. I may not see the result immediately, but definitely there's going to be a result. And with that hope, you could say, with understanding, holding on to whatever measure of understanding we have about potential, we act. And once we act, we don't just immediately wait for an immediate result, but we have a kind of faith, a kind of conviction that I acted from a place of reasonable hope. There's definitely going to be a result. Now, don't wait for the result to be exactly the Jeep, or exactly the boat, or exactly the helicopter, or exactly some sort of angel coming from the sky to help you, for it to be, oh, that's the result I was looking for. Okay. The thing is, in the general sense, like in this case of the guy rescued, and here is a mean to be rescued. Okay. And by opening ourselves, and the interesting thing is, by opening ourselves, by taking action guided by this hope, by this as reasonable and as wise as it can be, by allowing ourselves to take that kind of action, by walking towards the Jeep and getting in it, that's how we open the possibilities even further. Okay. So eventually, one day, maybe an angel will come down. It will be an angel that comes down. But before the angel comes down, we have to have faith. We have to have conviction that we were answered. We are actually experiencing the result of our conscious actions. Because if we are not accepting the Jeep when the Jeep comes in, we are actually saying, I don't believe that there's a result to my actions. And we are narrowing the range of possibilities of potential, of the vastness. So we have to go through to the opening that is there. And then that allows us to go through even wider opening, to experience, to have a more direct experience of more of the vastness of possibilities. And eventually, maybe one day, because we have fully opened ourselves, then it is an angel that comes and rescues us, not just a Jeep, not just a boat or an helicopter. Okay, but but it's a gradual process. Why is it a gradual process? Because we are now living the result of our conditioning. Right now, the conditioning is all the way to helicopter. Okay, beginning first with the Jeep, then the boat, and then finally the helicopter. That's our range of possibilities because of our conditioning. Our conditioning did not open for us as a possibility for an angel to come down. Okay, so it's like someone does a favor. You do a favor for someone, and then the person shows you how grateful they are for this favor that you've done for them. Now that in you, you open yourself more to help that person even in other situations, right? So this is very common sense. This is not some abstract that's in the air somewhere in the abstract world or anything like that. This is how we actually behave. This is how we actually act. And when someone shows appreciation, we open the door so that the person can even get more from us. But when the person doesn't show appreciation, we have the tendency to even close the door. So the next time the person might even be in need and they don't get anything from you, right? So we are at that moment following what you might call this universal principle of conditioning, to what degree that we are open to possibility and to potential. And when we hear about potential, usually it goes straight into some sort of fancy world. When we think of potential, we immediately think about, and believe it or not, you're waiting for an angel to come pick you up. You don't even believe in angels. You see what we are doing to ourselves? We put ourselves in a complete fantasy. We are hoping for a result that we ourselves don't even believe in. Do you really believe in angels? What experience have you had that gives you a definite conviction that there are such things as angels in the first place? So you have the block, the barrier of disbelief that the existence of angels in the first place. And then you're adding, and you're trying, and we are completely disregarding what is obvious. That is what is it that we actually believe in? We are disregarding that on top of that, and then we place ourselves into some fantasy, and we believe that's where that's where freedom resides. That's where our bliss resides, in some fantasy. And because there is a part of us that knows that what we are holding on to is a fantasy, that part of us tells us, oh, that person just wants to live in a fantasy. Okay, that's all right. Let's keep that person in fantasy. That's what they want. They want to live in fantasy. And and the reason I'm bringing about fantasy is that when we hear potential, we are expecting to immediately have some incredible out of this world, out of the ordinary kind of experience, until we have this out of the ordinary, out of this world kind of experience. Potential will have no meaning whatsoever. We don't see that when the Jeep came to us, that was an expression of potential. And that was itself as miraculous as the angel, as an angel coming. That is potential manifesting to us. That leads to, on a side, to being able to have gratitude, to appreciate, to have appreciation for what is, for what you might call the small things. They're not really small things. They only call small things, relatively speaking. Okay, we are witnessing a miracle, and we say, "Oh, there's nothing so great about that." And on the side, I'll give you a little story. There was a disciple of the Buddha at the time of the Buddha who was not impressed by miracles. And eventually, after some years, he went to the Buddha and to say, "Buddha, I'm going to leave you because, there's nothing great about you. I mean, I've been with you for years. I don't see anything special about you." And the Buddha said, "Foolish man, did I come knocking at your door and say, 'Come join me, I'm going to do miracles'?" And the Buddha said, "No." "And did I say, 'Come follow me, I'll walk on water so you can be dazzled'?" And he said, "No." "Okay. Would you say," and then the Buddha starts to relate some of the things that can be called miracles that were done. And he said, and the Buddha said, "When that happened, would you call that a miracle?" He said, "Oh, I guess so." And the Buddha said, "When that happened, we said that was a miracle?" "Oh, I guess so." And he said, and the Buddha finally told him, I didn't come to your house, promise you things and say, 'Come follow me and I'll make miracles for you.' If you're dissatisfied, if you didn't get what you wanted by following me, you're free to go." And of course, he didn't stay. He left, and the end of the story is not so nice. He eventually went to follow some crazy guy who was called the Dog Yogi. And the reason I was called a Dog Yogi because he thought that by acting like a dog, he would somehow reach enlightenment. And because this guy was doing something so outrageous, he said, "Oh, there must be something special with that guy. He's doing something so outrageous. I'll follow him." Instead. Well, the story continues, but the point is, if we're not open to the miracle that is happening at every moment, we're not going to see what we consider to be the big miracles. Just like when someone is not showing appreciation for something that you've done for them, they're literally causing you to close the door for you to be able to give them more, to give them reason to be more appreciative later on. Okay. So when you hear that the ultimate nature of reality is potential, don't go into fantasy land. Don't go into fantasy land thinking that, believing that something that you in your heart don't even believe in is going to suddenly manifest for you. Okay. You don't believe that, for example, that you can walk on water. Don't say, "I will only accept that the nature of reality is pure potential when I see myself walking on water," when you don't even believe in that kind of thing. When the conviction that we have is, if you step on water, you go down unless you know how to swim. That's your conviction. That's your heartfelt body knowledge, conviction. Until you actually are able to overcome that. I'm not talking about pretend. Okay. I'm talking about just the same way that you are convinced If I step on the water, if I don't know how to swim, I'm going to drown. That's a conviction. If you're able to bring about to the same measure of conviction, I can walk on water, then that possibility of water, the potential of water to actually be something for you to walk on, for your body to be something, the potential for your body to be something to walk on water will not manifest. We haven't even begin to see the possibility, we haven't not even opened the door of possibilities yet. So we cannot see those more vaster kinds of things. Okay. So when you hear the nature of reality is potential and it gives you hope, let your hope be reasonable. That is according to your condition. Okay. Yes, our condition is also changeable. Our condition is also flexible. And that's the wonderful news. Just because I'm conditioned right now to believe that I cannot walk on water doesn't mean that I'm stuck with this. That also can change, where I can actually see myself walking on water. But even, and by walking on water, I'm talking about necessarily walking on water. I'm talking about whatever it is that you aspire to. And there's a part of us that makes us not hope for it, because we are at the level of conviction it is impossible for us, even though it's something that we witness with our own experience. Others are able to manifest, able to experience, and that somehow we think that we are the one who is for whom that is impossible forever. Okay. And when we open a door to to our own possibilities, we have to rejoice and celebrate each time we are actually in bearing witness to that. Okay. I used to believe that I cannot not eat cookies at night. It was impossible. Okay. As long as I hold on to that as being that's the case, even though I mean go back. Instinctively, you could say that's my conviction, but it is not what I really want. I really want to be able to change that. So because of that measure of hoping possibility that I will not need to eat cookies at night anymore, then I open myself to what is it that I can do? What are the measures that I can take so that I don't find myself having to eat cookies anymore? Then, and whatever it is then I open myself to whatever the psychological conditioning that made me need cookies, to eat cookies at night. Then I become open to it. Oh, that's why I'm eating cookies at night, even though I'm still eating cookies. But now I am open. And when that psychological breakthrough comes in, I have to celebrate that. I can't say, oh, there's no potential, I'm still eating cookies, even though I had some sort of psychological breakthrough, I'm still eating cookies. No, even though I'm still eating cookies, I have to celebrate that, some breakthrough came in, something that I didn't know before, now I know. And because I'm opening myself to that, now I can open myself to more, okay, what is it that I'm seeking to satisfy with the cookie? Then eventually I come to know that, oh, there's another way I can satisfy that. Oh, I don't even need to satisfy that anymore eventually, just because I didn't curse possibility. I didn't curse potential, because at that moment I say, oh yeah, the nature of reality is a potential. Okay, I accept that. Okay, why am I still eating cookies? Why is it that I'm still where I am right now? Because I accepted it. Okay, I agree with it. But we have to take action, and when we take action, that is incorporating in our embodied intelligence the wisdom. That's when it becomes wisdom. We are embodying it. We are making it felt experience. We are making it instinct. Okay. So when we hear the nature of reality is potential, always go back to that with the sense of whatever it is that I'm experiencing, I can change it. Whatever it is. Now, do not let hope become attachment, where, for example, I want an angel to come pick me up. I don't care. Unless it's an angel I will not consider it to be the situation has changed. Okay, so but we open ourselves to the degrees to which we can actually witness directly the situation changing. Perhaps our mood changes. We are, even though physically we are same situation, but somehow we find ourselves having resilience. That's something to celebrate. And later on, not only do we have resilience, all of a sudden we start to have ideas coming from different places, either a book that we are reading or a show that we are watching or somebody that we are not even engaged in a conversation. We sort of hear something in passing or some thought comes in our mind because we are open to possibilities. And instead of uh, winning the lottery, for example, like somebody say, until I win the lotto, I will not believe in, in potential. Okay. But somehow, whatever it is that we were wanting, we were hoping for the lottery to give to us, we are able to find it through some other means. Okay. So do not let hope become attachment. That is, don't uh, be open. Don't let the object of hope be fixed, right? Here we are making use of the flexibility, the openness of reality, and we are imposing a inflexibility upon it. We are imposing we are imposing fixedness onto it. So that means we're not really uh, uh, allowing ourselves to actually be in alignment with reality. When we are hoping for what is impossible, and by impossible, I'm not talking about what we have deemed impossible, like it's impossible for me to come out of this situation, but rather like the sand should do for me what water does for me. Okay, that's impossible. Okay, for as long as it is sand, it will behave like sand. I hope you got that. Okay, for as long as it is sand, it will behave like sand. That's big stuff I just said there. So now we come into what seems to be what gives us the wrong impression, or what gives us, you could say, what makes us get stuck to fantasy land. Okay, I'm going to talk about potential in such a way that where the danger of getting stuck to fantasy land comes in. Okay. So you're having an experience. The experience is at its nature open, flexible, potential for. Okay. Potential for what? Open to what? Potential for the experience to continue. Potential for the experience to get worse. All these are potential. Potential isn't it simply, I promise you heaven. Potential means whatever it is that is going on can be something else. Something else meaning continuing, that's something else. Getting worse, that's something else. And disappear altogether, that's something else. So potential isn't only just what you're wishing for it to be only. Okay. And this potential, which allows for not only for heavenly experiences to be had, but also very difficult, even much more difficult than the present, if the situation in the present to be had. This potential by itself is not heavenly. This potential by itself is not hellish. And this is where we get lost into fantasy land. Okay. It is by itself just potential. Okay. Just potential. And at that pure level of potential, so there is, you could say, the ongoing potential at the level of surface. The sand, in its continuing potential, it can become glass, for example, right? You can transform it into brick, right? That's part of its potential to be. If it didn't have that potential, then no matter what you do to it, it will remain sand. Okay? Now that's one level of potential. And that's the level of potential that we are more in touch with. And this level of potential, once we acknowledge it, it will allow us to go to the deeper level of potential. Now, we cannot, in all fairness, it's like, I can't think of an example, but in all fairness, not completely dismiss the expression of potential that is right here, right now for it to experience, and only wanting to tap into the underlying potential. Okay, what you might call just pure potential. Okay, the potential that made whatever that is now appearing and manifesting and existing as sand, whatever that potential, whatever that was, that potential has allowed to become that. If we want to touch that, we can touch it. And that's where we go into fantasy. Yes, we can touch it. Yet those fantastic things are possible also. But it is the way to understand it is the same way as trying to tap into that more underlying, more profound, more foundational potential is the same as the person expecting you to be generous to them when they are not even appreciative of the efforts that you've made already. Okay, so they've closed themselves to your deeper generosity because they've not they've closed themselves to the opening that you made for them. They've closed the opening. So by not appreciating the potential, the possible potential of the sand becoming glass, the sand becoming whatever it is at that moment, we are closing the door to the underlying potential that give rise to the sand in the first place. Okay. Now, this potential that give rise to the sand in the first place, and this is where I'm gonna lose you. We're gonna lose each other. That's where we get into what we refer to the kind of potential that we all share, the kind of potential that makes someone like us eventually completely transcend this way of existing, where we exist, where we continue to exist, where we are in constant, continuous connection with pure potential. Okay? That's where the fantasy would like us to be eventually. But the thing is, we cannot get there by appreciating what's here and now. Okay. What is available to us right here now, and first exploit that. Maybe exploit is not a good word, but make use of that. Okay. Then it's like, I'll put it in a new age term. Remember, I invented new age, so I can use it. So in new age term, when we accept what the universe, the little bit that the universe gives us, we are basically contracting ourselves or telling the universe, give me more. I'm open to more. Okay. So that's what we are doing when we are living allowing ourselves to see the potential that is right here, right now. And by doing that, eventually we will be in direct communion with our you could say with the what you might call the blank aspect of our being, the part that is just pure potential, where we can emerge in it. We can go into it, emerge into it, and then emerge out of it as a totally different kind of being, a being that is in constant communion, a being that is always in alignment and in right relationship with its true nature, with the true nature of reality. When we, before we get there, when we talk about the true nature of reality, when we talk about being in communion with it, just from the place of language, remember we are speaking from a place of language, we can use so many different language to try to describe it. Oneness, otherness, duality, non-duality, all these are just attempts at trying to express something that is beyond language. So don't get caught up with the language that you may use, but rather go to the felt sense that is beyond language that we all experience, that we touch at times. Don't get caught up with the language, trying to make that potential into that language itself, into the object of that language. It is beyond oneness. It is beyond it is a non-duality, which is a beyond oneness, where oneness is experienced, but it's beyond that, where other is experience, but it is beyond that. You could say other is acknowledged, other is validated, but in a way without dismissing, without invalidating oneness. Okay, that's that pure potential. Okay, where when we immerse ourselves into that pure potential, and some people in deep meditation, they have a slight taste of it, and there's experiences that are somewhat similar to it. But when we arise from those experiences, when we sort of crystallize those experiences as some sort of other, then we have the tendency to make it absolute. What do I mean by that? You have a beautiful experience of oneness, and you come out of it and say everything is one. When we do that, we are invalidating the immediate experience of other. Almost as if you're saying, I don't care about other. Okay. And what we end up doing, believe it or not, we are inflating the ego to the almost absolute of inflating the ego. Oneness is just a mode of expression. Oneness is just a kind of experience. It is not the totality, the absoluteness. Mystery is more of a direct kind of expression to explain pure potential. Because right here, right now, whatever experience that we are having, whether it is an unpleasant experience, whether it is a pleasant experience, it is indeed arising out of this pure potential. And in this very moment, in this very instant, merge and inseparable with this experience, There's vastness. Merged and inseparable with this experience, there's openness. Even though at, at the direct level of my experience, I'm seeing other, I'm seeing separateness. But this very capacity to experience otherness, this very capacity to experience separateness is actually an aspect, a quality of potential. So otherness, separateness are not necessarily things to say, oh, that's the devil, that's evil, but rather attachment to them, making them some sort of absolute, that you could say is evil. But the pure, unadulterated, pure, immediate experience of other is itself an expression of this pure potential. And when this pure potential is directly experienced, just for the sake of sort of giving a kind of semblance to what it might be like, words as vast, we use conceptual words like vastness, openness, bliss. But in itself, it is not those things, the way we understand them, the way we experience them in our everyday life. But those experiences are the closest to explain what it could be like. Okay? When we understand what it could be like, remember, it's pure potential. The fact that our very awful experience can be worse is an expression of pure potential. Okay? And just because it is experienced as getting worse doesn't mean that, oh, that's the only expression that it can have to get worse. But rather have a sense of, now that I'm directly experiencing, now I'm directly perceiving this expression of it, I'm in a way witnessing potential displaying itself to me. Now that you've displayed that you can get worse, I see it. So can you please go in another direction? What actions can I take so I can witness this, put this going in a different direction? Okay. Still, it is potential manifesting in front of me as the experience of getting worse. Okay. Okay. And that was a lot of talk about potential and a little bit of talk about hope. To allow our hope to be in alignment with wisdom, and it will guide us. It will guide us in the direction that we want. When hope becomes attachment, that's when we have a fixed idea of what it's supposed to be, rather than just being open to the possibilities of where hope can take us. Okay. So we hear it, hoping that harming someone will make me happy is senseless. It's ignorant hope. Okay. But somehow being in connection with reality and seeing that love and compassion and hoping that they will bring something wonderful, meaningful, that's hope that is in alignment with wisdom. Okay. And there are things that we're directly experiencing that tells us this is reality, and that we go against them. That we have a witness, and I'm not talking about some good angel, bad angel kind of thing, but we do have a witness that's sort of neutral. Oh, you want to suffer? Okay, all right. Let's make sure you suffer, because that's what you want, because that's where your conviction is. That's the direction you want, you in deep within you wish to go into. What does that mean? You're convinced you want suffering. You think it's okay to make someone else suffer. That's your conviction that suffering is what you want. That's a conviction that suffering is what a self should experience. And then that's, oh, okay, all right. So this self wants to experience suffering. All right, let's make sure all the conditions are correct so that suffering can be experienced. Okay. But when you uh, act from love, act from compassion, and that's your conviction, then you're saying self should be free of suffering. A self should have contentment. Then that witness is saying, oh, that self, that's what self should experience. So let make self experience that. Okay. And you will be doing the actions, the collecting the conditionings for that. Okay. All right. I think we are finishing on time for the first time. All right. Okay. So when you read the email and you said, oh, perhaps you had a direction that you were hoping this talk would go into. Maybe I didn't go in that direction. So if if you have a question you would like to ask, go ahead, ask before we do the closing meditation. So I'm giving you, we have time to ask questions. I'm giving time to ask questions. Grab some tea or something.
It looks like Maria has a question. Or Mia.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, Phuntsok. Hello.
Hi.
So thank you. Number one, thank you for this. This was really great. I was listening the whole time. My question is related to something you said earlier, which was like, you mentioned like feeling the body, feeling in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking of like somatic practices that help us like reach enlightenment, right? Like yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also the other like end of the spectrum of like complete stillness that can help us reach enlightenment, like sitting in complete stillness, in meditation and like silence as well. So I guess my question is like, not why are there two different approaches, but like maybe how those two work together, or just like a general general thoughts on like, I'm a little scattered right now. I don't know if this makes sense.
Okay. As far as somatic practices like yoga and things like that are concerned, what we tend to discover over time are convictions that are locked in the body. And some of those convictions are for our own benefit, and some of those convictions are to our detriment, right? But we are not aware of them when we are not able to be in the body, be able to be attuned with the body's intelligence. Like you're doing yoga and you see the teacher doing a stretch, and like me, first time encountering yoga, the teacher was doing these incredible things. I said, that's not for me, I'm leaving. Rather than being in touch with my body to see to what degree what is my body communicating to me when I try to do that, and then stay in tune with that and listen to the conviction that makes me only reach that level, and listen to the conviction that I'm holding on to that makes me only reach that, right? So there are these convictions that are locked in the body that somatic practices help us unlock. And by unlocking them, and through unlocking them, then we are able to get to the underlying nature that is beyond the body. And then through that, eventually reach enlightenment. So in the same way, one can go in the direction of the mind, and there are also convictions locked in the mind that through stillness that we unlock, we rid of, and eventually get us to the underlying nature of the mind, beyond the mind. And then when we touch that, then we can reach enlightenment. So it's not that there's a enlightenment that is for the mind and there's enlightenment for the body, but
Mhm.
rather through the body, if that is more more immediate for you, then you can use that to get to that
Right.
place. If the mind is more immediate to you, then you use that to get to that place. But for most of us, we have to make a combination of the two. So even when you're sitting down and you just still in your mind, the body's in a posture,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whatever the posture may be, the body is in a posture. So there has to be some sort of cooperation going on with the body and the mind. And then you go more in the direction of the mind, or you go more in the direction of the body, to be in touch with something that's sort of, and this is the bad term, something that encompasses both. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I feel that there was something connected with hope that I may have missed. Um, but I hope whatever was said felt practical, and it's not to make potential into some very unholy thing, taking it out of the pure abstract, just wanting to take it out of the pure abstract and to make it something that is we can put into immediate practice, rather than wait. Yeah, when I get to potential, it's already here. See it right here, right now. Okay. And eventually we'll get to that potential where if it appears as sand, it will act like sand. Okay. All right. So let's, I mean, there's some other, I could have gone into, I deliberately then go in the direction where we end up with just having fantasies, okay? Where you're not really practicing anymore. You're just fantasizing. I want us to really practice. And talk about Buddha potential and all kind of that kind of stuff. There's a time for it, and to talk about those things, but right here, right now, we're talking about hope in terms of my situation right here and my immediate kind of thing that I can actually hope for, and how does potential help with that? Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll do a closing meditation. I don't think we have any more questions. All right. So bring into conscious awareness that you're going to meditate. And feel how the body is already responding energetically, how the mind is already responding to that call to meditate. And if you do this each time you meditate, remember as vividly as you can, not force it, experientially, the last deep meditation you had, just remember it, not trying to make it happen, just remember it as you allow the body to settle, holding on to that intention, to contact that experience. And you begin to notice that you're touching it. You're touching it in the breath, you're touching it in the body, touching it in the mind. And as soon as you make that acknowledgement, you notice that, rejoice, take joy in that, celebrate it. And all you need to do now is to just take one breath to stabilize. Through the nose, gently, fully breathe in. And breathe out through the mouth. Let yourself go deeper and deeper into that experience, qualified by calm, by pleasantness, by clarity, by radiance, by collected attention. And have a somatic experience of you. What is here? that is gives us the sense of me. There's the body, there are the felt senses, there are thoughts. All these things can be said to be different things, and yet we call them us. And if the right hand needs something, the left hand doesn't say, well, that's you take care of it yourself. The left hand says, that's me that needs help. And the right hand goes to help the left hand. And the same way with any part of us. When any part of us is in need, other parts say, that's me. And it goes to help. So hold on to that sense of us as vividly as you can, with your own collection that makes us. And that readiness for any part to immediately go to the aid of the other. Now holding on to that sense of us, now see all everyone here gathered together, forming a circle in your space. In that same way you had that sense of us with all those collective parts, have a sense of us with all the different individuals. And have a sense of that readiness to go to help this person or that person, and have a sense that you're helping us. And to help, you can even think of someone looking at you from outside and say, look at them. And then you're responding immediately, or they're looking at us. And as that sense of us gets stronger, it manifests a bright presence right in the center of our circle. And as that sense of us gets stronger and stronger, that presence becomes brighter and brighter. And rays of light extend from it to our heart center. And we are feeding it, making us stronger, the sense of us stronger. And the sense of us is feeding us, making our sense of individuality stronger without one canceling the other. Each empowering the other. And as that sense of us gets stronger and stronger, that presence in the center becomes bigger, brighter, and it begins to expand. And as it expands, whatever that it expands into dissolves into just that bright presence until no more appearance of individuals are present. It's just that big ball of light, it continuing to expand and then dissolving into it, absorbing into itself everything, everyone in your house, everyone in your neighborhood, everyone in your city, everyone in your state. It continues. Everyone, everything in your country, everyone in your continent, everyone, everything on this entire earth. The sky, the grass, the trees, the mountains, the rivers, the lakes, the oceans, the birds, the cats, the pets, everything, we have a sense of us. And with that same instinct, where the right hand say, I am hurt, and goes to help the left. So when we see the ocean is in need, we feel, I am hurt, and we go to help the ocean, or help the river, or help our neighbor, or help the Republicans, or help the Democrats, or help the liberals, or help the socialists, or help the left, go help the right, go help the center. Go help the bees, the ants, the grass, the trees, the sky. And if it's as vividly real for you, you can expand it to include the entire solar system or the entire universe, all of existence. If that doesn't feel as real for you, then just stay with the earth. And just stay with that sense of readiness. And while you're in that sense of readiness, think of someone for whom you have a little bit of difficulty of a relationship with. And try to sort of cultivate that sense of readiness. That's us, that's me. If it's difficult, then leave it alone. And now we are thoroughly imbued with a sense of us. So we don't need this vision of just this big ball of light. We can now honor the distinctions. We can honor other and yet still feel this us. Just like your right hand honors the left and still feel us. So now the ball of light begins to shrink. And as it shrinks, whatever it absorbed, it has a sheen of that light still with it until it becomes again just a ball in the center of our circle. And we are shining with the sheen of this light, that sense of us. And we go back again to that ray of light connecting our hearts to that bright light. And we don't need even that to remind us of us. And then when we don't need that, it goes, that ball of light now goes into those rays of light and completely dissolves into each one of us. And we feel, by taking care of this individual me, I am taking care of us. And when I take care of us, I'm also taking care of me. And with that, get ready to come out of the meditation. Go back to just the feel of the space, the calm, the pleasantness. Feel the sense of clarity in the inner sensations, the vividness, the brightness of them, the presentness of them. Rejoice. And you have a sense of some kind of energy that you have touched, that you have cultivated. It's powerful. It's connected to that subtle consciousness, and we can direct it. So think of something that is sincerely of your concern to you, whether it's personal, whether it's for someone you love, whether it's for a community, a sincere concern you have because of understanding of this pure potential that we wish to one day have a direct communion with. And that is the nature of everything arising from that. We say, by the power of this energy that we have cultivated through this session, and say, may, now whatever it is that you wish, that you have a concern about, may it be addressed. And we will together say the dedication, the sort of like general dedication, in just because it has, the Tibetan has a nice tune to it, so we'll say it in the Tibetan. Gyewa di kyoken Sunam yeshe tsogzog shin Sunam yeshe lechung we Damba gonye doba sho. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Great seeing you and great reading your names. All right. See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much, Phuntsok. Thank you to everyone joining. Thank you to everyone joining here live and through the recordings. About changing the day that we meet. We're going to send out an email soon to take a poll to see what days work best for everyone. It would be really helpful if you could answer that. So please keep an eye out. And Phuntsok is generously opening up more of his free time to take private sessions. And this is a great opportunity to ask him any questions you have about your personal practice and life application, and address any specific topics or personal blockages. And you can schedule your session through the link in the chat. And please make your offering for this class, which goes towards maintaining and developing more offerings from Phuntsok. And you can do that through Venmo or ongoing patronage through Patreon. And thank you so much. See you in 2 weeks.
Okay. See you. Thank you.
Thank you, Phuntsok. That was great.
Thank you.